We're glad you're here. My name is Roger Ballard. I have the privilege of being the CEO for Nuvision Credit Union, and I'm really happy to be here with you this evening with our Nuvision Insights webinar. This is a webinar series that we've been doing now for the last couple of years for our members. And really the purpose is, a few points here. One, to provide direct access to credit union leadership to our members. To share some updates about what's going on with your credit union, and provide what we hope is some really valuable information to our members. And those topics can vary. This particular webinar for this Nuvision, this installment, if you will, of Nuvision Insights webinar is really focused on taking control of your financial future, keys to debt protection, and building credit. Something that I think the great fundamental lessons here and tips that we hope you're going to find really valuable. First, a little bit more about Nuvision, though. Our purpose and vision are something that drives us each and every day as in terms of the Nuvision team members. Our purpose at Nuvision, we help build lives for people, talking about our members, the communities in which we serve, as well as our team. And our vision at Nuvision is our Nuvision's passion and commitment to enhance members' lives will achieve best-in-class member experiences. And that's something that drives us each and every day, because we know your expectations for member experience are appropriately high. And I'm so proud of our team who works to deliver each and every day. So, we're here at Nuvision. We've been around 89 years. Next year is going to be our 90th anniversary. And throughout that history, and thanks to the support of our members and team members, Nuvision continues to be safe, strong, and secure, in large part because of the support of our member owners. So for this webinar tonight, I wanted to share just a few nuggets, shall we say, about what's new at Nuvision. And then the bulk of this particular webinar, it's going to be around 30 minutes or so. We'll try to target that, is going to be around the topic I mentioned earlier. The main theme is protection against debt and building healthy credit. And I'll introduce a speaker on that. And then we have another speaker who's going to be talking about Nuvision and building credit and a stronger future. And then at the end of this, we'll be taking questions from our members. Now, this is a Zoom webinar, so for some may be very familiar with Zoom, and others may be newer to it. For those who may be newer, there is a Q&A icon that should be toward the bottom of your screen, and you can use that at any time during the webinar. And click on that and submit your questions. You can do it anytime starting now, or you can wait until the Q&A and submit them then. What we find most helpful is usually as you're hearing the presentation of a question occurs to you, just type it in in the Q&A area, and then I'll be back and help facilitate the Q&A at the right time toward the end of the meeting. So first up, I want to just provide a little nuggets, as I said, about Nuvision and what's new, at least what might be new to many of our members. We've shared this with some, but we wanted to reemphasize some of the updates that we've had in 2024. We have certainly continued to grow our presence, not only in communities that we've historically served, but also in some new communities. We completed 2 merger partnerships. One was in the Bay Area, kind of of Northern California, and another in Southern California, in the San Diego area. So we partnered with Cooperative Center and Paradise Valley Credit Unions. It became part of the Nuvision family. And as a result of those great partnerships, we have additional branch locations that are available to our members. We have 2 new branches in both the Bay Area and San Diego. In the Bay Area, we have a branch in Martinez and Berkeley that's now available to serve our members. And then in the San Diego, California area, we have a branch in National City and in Santee, which again is in that San Diego area for those not familiar. And then also beyond the branches that we opened up as part of this merger as Nuvision, we have an existing Abbott branch in Alaska. We're operating in 5 different states, including Alaska. And we have a small in-store. It's actually inside a grocery store. We call it the Abbott branch. And that has, the amount of business there, the member demand has outgrown the space that we have. So we are relocating just across the parking lot to a freestanding larger location. And we're hoping to get that done by the end of the year, or just the first part of 2025. So that work is in progress. Looking forward to opening up a larger, more robust services location in the Abbott branch in the Anchorage, Alaska market. And then in Arizona, we do not have any public branches available. We have shared branches available, but we don't have any public branches available in Mesa, Arizona, something our members have asked for. We do have a small branch on site, the Boeing facility, but you've got to, have the security clearance and work at Boeing to access that. And we know many of our members' families have asked for a public branch in the Mesa, Arizona area. We also know many Alaskans spend some time in that area during the winters. So we're really happy to be building out a brand new branch in the Mesa, Arizona area. And we hope to have that branch open by mid-year in 2025. So exciting opportunities to enhance the convenience for our members in multiple markets. Additionally, upcoming in 2025, I just wanted to highlight a few of the things you can look forward to as members. We're rolling out an improved phone system. What that means to our members is even better experiences when it comes to calling the credit union when you need assistance, to answer questions, or to conduct some business. So we're looking forward to enhancing our member call experience. And then we're also looking to make it even easier for members to take advantage of our pre-approved signature loan offers, just easier from a point and click standpoint through digital channels to accept pre-approved offers, and which is an advancement from our pre-approved process. So we're improving the process, making it easier, making it simpler, and we think it's going to enhance the member experience as well. And then finally, I want to just remind you, we've been doing this now for a few years, but we have an annual Added Advantage Holiday Cash Giveaway, and it's starting in November, which I can't believe it's Friday, but Friday is November 1st, according to the calendar I looked at, and that's amazing that the year's going by that fast, and also very exciting that our Added Advantage Holiday Cash Giveaway is starting, and just another way to say thanks to our members and giving them the opportunity to win some cash for the holidays. So just wanted to highlight those items, keep those on your radar. I hope you take advantage of participating in the Added Advantage Holiday Cash Giveaway. So that's what's new, or at least coming up at Nuvision. Next, I want to get into our main speakers. It's really my pleasure to introduce Kirsten Baron. She is a financial educator with a partner that we have. It's called How Money Works. It's a financial practice helping families strengthen their financial futures. How Money Works is also currently partnering with Nuvision as we present financial literacy and educational programs for students in Costa Mesa, that's Costa Mesa, California, and Southern California high school. We do a number of youth financial literacy programs, and this is one of those. And it's designed really to help students develop their money management skills and just help them, get off to a good start as they go into adulthood and with their personal finances. So Kirsten will shed important insights about how you and your family can protect against debt, wise use of debt, and build sustained and healthy credit and achieve your long-term financial goals. We're so happy to have her with us this evening. Kirsten, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you so much, Roger. I appreciate the introduction. And hi, everyone. Hope you guys are having an amazing Tuesday evening. I'm definitely excited to be here and so excited to get to work with Nuvision. And it's just so amazing that, they're doing this and providing that financial literacy. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it because I don't have a ton of time, but I do want to make sure that I share some good nuggets for you guys that are on. And so just so you know, just real quickly, a little bit more about myself. I've been in the industry working as a financial professional and educator now for the past 13 years. And how I got into this industry is because I didn't really know when I was going to school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I actually used to be a social worker, believe it or not, but kind of how I I fell into this industry is that I realized that, money is important. And there were a lot of things that I never learned in schools. And so I love that Nuvision is doing what they're doing with bringing financial literacy to schools. And so I was able to, really learn more about this industry, learn more about, the options that are out there when it comes to really building wealth. And over the past 13 years now with my husband, we've been able to build a great practice, helping, hundreds of families all over achieve financial freedom through the different avenues that are out there. So what we're going to focus on for this talk, as was mentioned by Roger, is really about protection against debt. And so we want to think like the wealthy, right? Not think like a sucker. And an investment in knowledge pays the best interest, right? Benjamin Franklin said that. Now, the word sucker is a strong word, yes, but not knowing how money works, it sucks, right? I'm sure you'd all agree with that. It can suck up your time, your freedom, it sucks up your income. And financial illiteracy is the #1 economic crisis in the world. And so we do these courses and these classes because we're really trying to change that. So a recent study on financial literacy found that only 30% of people in the world are financially literate, okay? 44% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency. 43% of loan borrowers are not making payments. And 33% of American adults have zero retirement savings. So these are some staggering statistics. So this is why, again, this topic is so important. And so for many, though, debt is the greatest obstacle to a sound financial future and becoming financially independent. And so for most, building healthy credit starts with eliminating debt, right? And so we're going to be talking about and touching on just some quick tips that I really believe is going to help you in your journey to strengthen your overall credit score and really strengthen your situation when it comes to this area of debt. Now, the top 5 tips to eliminate and stay out of debt and to really manage your debt properly, because debt in itself is not bad, right? Not all debt is bad. Debt can be used and leveraged properly to what? To build assets, right? For example, buying a home, investing in a business, investing in education, right? There's a lot of things that you can use debt for, but the key, what we want to focus on is making sure that, again, we're utilizing debt properly and we're not getting into a situation where it's really hurting us long term. So here are 5 tips. So 1, know what you owe, no more late payments, target one debt at a time, stop charging and cancel unused subscriptions, and if appropriate, refinance your mortgage. Now, the first point is, again, know what you owe, right? So if you're in a situation where you have a lot of credit card debt, let's say, for example, okay, what I recommend to do is to get very clear on what it is that you owe, okay? Write it all down on a sheet of paper and really start looking at each of those balances one at a time so that you can start attacking each one at a time, right? Again, it's not saying that using those credit cards are necessarily bad, but you want to use it responsibly, okay? So again, make a list of all your credit card debts and loans, right? Now, check the websites of the top credit reporting agencies for pointers to improve your score and report errors, okay? So these are the 3 top major crediting agencies in the States. We have TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. So I'm sure you are all familiar with them. Now, one of the questions I think that came up is, when I'm looking at my credit score and trying to improve my credit score, which one do I look at? Now, they are all very similar. The biggest difference between all these crediting agencies is how they actually calculate your credit score, okay? There's just slight differences, but one is not necessarily better than the other. All 3 of these agencies are widely used in the United States, and they're all very credible. Experian is the largest out of the 3 of them, okay? So that's just some information on that. Now, one of the things that can really affect your credit score are late payments, okay? So a good credit score can open opportunities to get lower interest rates on loans like mortgages. So here are two tips to pay on time. So 1, sign up for automatic payments, okay? Any bills that you have that are just regular bills coming out of your budget every single month, make sure that you are on automatic payment for them, right? So that, again, you're making sure that you're staying on top of that. The second one is set alarms on your phone. Now, I know for me, I got a lot happening in my life, running a business, personal life, all of that. I use technology so much, okay? So utilize technology. You know, these little computers that we get to carry around now in our pocket, there's so many amazing resources on there, setting alarms and different things like that. And I utilize that to make sure that I'm not forgetting anything, okay? So again, these are helpful tips that can really help you stay on track of your payments that are due. Now, the next one that I had touched on a second ago is target one debt at a time, okay? So if you're looking on reducing the balances that you owe on multiple credit cards, what I recommend is to focus on one balance at a time. When I sit with a lot of clients, they're trying to balance everything at once, and sometimes that's not effective. So there's a couple ways that you can do that. First, you can start with the smallest balance and work your way down to the biggest balance that you owe. Or you can start with the highest interest rate and then work your way down, right? So whichever direction you choose, pay more than the minimum payment on that first balance that you're working on while you're paying the minimums on everything else. So then again, you can focus on one at a time and really start to see yourself making that progress over time, okay? Now, target one debt at a time. So repeat the process until you're credit card debt free, or again, you're now at a place where you are using your credit cards responsibly and not just, occurring, and you're not able to pay, to pay them down or to pay them off. Now, the next point is stop charging and cancel unused subscriptions. So canceling unused subscriptions is a big one. It's so funny because, we're in a day and age right now where we have so many subscriptions, right? Everything is a subscription. And in the form of, entertainment and media, before we had cable, I mean, we still have cable, but cable was a lot more popular. And I remember I canceled my cable like 15 years ago because I was like, I just don't watch it. I watch Netflix. But then what happened? Canceled cable to save money. But then now everything, right? Netflix, Hulu, Prime, like everything is a subscription. And now it's like, wait, I'm paying just as much as I was paying when I had cable. So be mindful of that, right? It's so easy to get caught up in these things. So get very clear on what subscriptions you're on. And if you're paying monthly for something that you're not really using or really isn't adding significant value to your life, consider letting that go, right? And that's going to really help you better manage your expenses overall. And then the next point is refinancing your mortgage. Of course, this kind of depends on, the state of the economy, what rates look like and things like that. But by paying on time, correcting credit report errors, and reducing debt, your credit score should improve, okay? So I'm going to really quickly touch on, and I might actually just skip a couple to make sure that I stay on time. So on a scale of 300 to 850, people with top tier credit scores have a footprint of financial responsibility, and lenders have a tendency to reward this elite group with lower interest rates. So again, another incentive on why you really want to make sure that you are utilizing your debt responsibly. The higher the credit score you have, the more likely you are to be able to be rewarded with lower interest rates when you're looking to take out loans, okay? So here are some quick guidelines to follow. Make sure your balance is below 50% of the spending limit to maintain your current credit scores. Reduce your utilization down to 30% of the total credit line to improve your credit scores. And to get in the 800 club, use no more than 10% of the allowed spending limit, okay? So these are just some, again, quick tips that you can work on implementing to really increase your credit score. Now, I'm actually going to skip through this. Okay, so this is the last part that I'm going to touch on. So I'm going to touch on some facts or fictions when it comes to understanding your credit score. So myth number one, my credit score determines whether or not I can get a mortgage loan, okay? So this is actually fiction. This isn't a fact. So your credit score is important, but it's only part of the equation. Remember, lenders look at a plethora of things, right? They look at the overall situation before making that decision. They look at your debt to income ratio, your employment history, amongst other factors. And different lenders have different underwriting policies. So it's best to work with a reliable mortgage consultant to find the best loan program that fits your specific needs, okay? Now, myth number two, closing old inactive accounts will raise my credit score. Is this fact or fiction? So this is also actually fiction. So those old accounts are part of your credit history, okay? And the longer credit history you have, it actually helps you improve your credit score, right? So it's better to keep an old card active and again, use it responsibly. Make some payments, pay it off at the end of the month. Remember, all debt is not bad debt, but it's how we use it and making sure that we're using it responsibly. And then myth number 3, paying bills on time will immediately improve my credit score. And this is a fact, right? So you definitely want to be paying your bills on time. And it's one of the best things that you could do to maintain a good credit score, right? But it only accounts for 35% of your total FICO score. Your score also reflects the amounts that you owe, your length of credit history, the types of credit in use, and any new credit, okay? And then I believe this is the last one, myth number 4, credit scoring is unfair to minorities, okay? Now, this is also fiction. So your credit score is simply a snapshot of how you manage your credit, okay? So don't let these things hold you back. The Equal Credit Opportunity Act, it prohibits lenders from denying credit based on race, color, religion, national origin, sex, marital status, age, et cetera, et cetera. So again, these things are illegal. So looking at your credit, again, it really is an objective way to make sure that you are improving. And what you want to do is focus on these other things that I mentioned and these other tips to help you improve your credit score so that, again, you can get into a place where you have opportunities for lower interest rates and different things like that. And you're able to responsibly manage and utilize debt and credit cards. Okay. And so, that being said, I hope you guys got some value. I know I talk kind of fast, but wanted to make sure that I stayed on time. And I'm going to now pass it back over to Roger. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kirsten. Great presentation. Love your passion for helping people with their finances and great tips. I already saw one question in the queue that asked about the presentation. I should let you know we are recording this and we're going to make it available, so you'll be able to hear it again and also kind of pause on the slides if you want any of that detail and such. So great job, Kirsten. And as a reminder, Kirsten's going to stay with us for the Q&A. So you'll get we're not done. We got some more opportunity to get some wisdom from Kirsten. So thank you so much. Next up, we're going to talk about building credit and a stronger future. And I'm very pleased to have with us Nuvision's own Chris Baron. Chris is the Senior Vice President of Member Experience for Nuvision. He is up, our branch network and over small business, our investment insurance products. So Chris is going to share with us this evening some insights about how Nuvision, through our programs and services, can assist you in building and maintaining credit to achieve your financial goals. So thank you, Chris, for being with us. Really appreciate it. It's all yours.
Thank you, Roger, for that very kind introduction. So as Roger stated, my name is Chris Baron. I'm going to talk to you about, some of the ways that Nuvision can assist you, with the important thing of building credit and, helping you all to build your lives. Nothing can be more important than maintaining a good, solid credit history. And sometimes starting that can be difficult. So one of the best ways we can help, especially young people get started on credit, or some people that may have had credit challenges in the past get, reestablish your credit, is with a shared secured Visa card. So what that does is it allows members to deposit money into a savings account that we then use for security to secure, a regular Visa card that works like any other card that you would have. So you can use it in stores, you can use it on vacations, all different ways, still a very low competitive interest rate, but it allows you to establish credit when you may not be able to with other institutions because you have no credit history or you've had issues in the past. Unlike a lot of these secured cards out there, we charge no annual fee, we charge a very competitive interest rate, and we also offer you all the great services that we have with our other cards as well. Using that as, overdraft protection, accessing it through web, mobile, and phone banking. And then, we also helping you maintain a good, solid credit history. We make it easy for you to set up an automatic payment. So the first way we can help you with it is on a shared secured Visa card. Next slide. And another way that we can help people establishing credit and really getting started on their journey is with our first time auto buying program. So Nuvision will allow people to buy a car with credit when they have limited or no credit history. And this is a great program, again, for young people starting out and such. So, because we know the importance of having a card to maintain a job, attend school, all the different things that, are required in a very mobile society. And we can help people get started still with very competitive rates and manageable terms, and allowing people to really establish that credit history. And for members who have limited or no credit, this is really for members that have limited or no credit, but not really to, that solution for negative credit. There's other ways that we can resolve that. Moving on to the next slide. Nuvision also has mortgage services, which also includes, first-time homebuyer programs. So that's another way that we can help people, build their life, start their families, create the life that they really want by getting into that first home. It offers, very competitive interest rates, quick in-house processing. So, Nuvision takes care of everything for you. And we have multiple different programs for purchases and refinances. Refinances, we're going to talk a little bit on the next two slides. That could be a great way to access the equity in your house in order to pay some, larger debts, remodel your home, refurbish a home, all those different things. So our mortgage services are there, multiple solutions to help you with your everyday life. And on the next slide, we're going to jump into also other solutions for the homeowner. And we have, both home equity lines of credit and, home equity loans. A home equity line of credit allows you to borrow up to 80% of the value of your home. Those amounts can range from anywhere from $10,000 to $350,000 based on the value. And we do have some programs that are interest only. So it gives you a very small monthly payment. And then you can choose how quickly or how slowly you'd like to pay it off. But home equity lines, think of it as, it works the same way a credit card would. So we establish a limit, and then you can borrow up to that amount. And as you pay it back down, it becomes available to you again. So very, very convenient, very functional way to tap that equity in your house. We also offer home equity loans, which offer very low fixed rate for the life of the loan. Again, we can go up to 80% loan to value, dollar amounts from $5,000 to $250. And then this can also be used when people are purchasing a home. We refer to that as a piggyback purchase money, where that can help you, get a lower first mortgage, and then, really separate it into two payments. And again, as I said, these funds can be used for home improvement and repairs, very large purchases. Many people use them to purchase an RV or a boat. Higher education expenses with the expense of college these days. That's a great way to pay for that. And then, as I also mentioned before, as people maybe have gotten into a little bit too much debt, particularly that high interest credit card debt, they could use the equity in their home to get rid of that debt and get back on a solid financial footing. And then on the last slide, I'd just like to remind everyone, we're here for you. We're here to provide solutions for you. Whether you're coming into the branches, whether you're calling us on the phone, whether you're reaching out to us online, we have a lot of different programs that are out there to help educate you and help you when you do get into trouble. And one of those programs is our Balance program. It provides very comprehensive and professional assistance with all types of personal finance. It will it's a resource for additional financial literacy things like we just discussed earlier in this presentation, and provides all kinds of services on money management, debt management, credit report review, how to look at that, what's important, what's not, housing education and such. And as I mentioned, it helps with financial literacy and people that have gotten into credit issues. It can help you resolve those negative credit issues and get your score back to a healthy place. So with that, I hope that was a great snapshot. Please stop into the branches or give us a call, if you want any more information on any of these products and, how they might be able to help you, for the life you build. And with that, I think I'm going to send it back to Roger for the question and answer.
Great. Thank you, Chris. Outstanding presentation. Great information. Really appreciate it. So as a reminder, you've heard a lot from us, so it's time that we take some of your questions and in the time we have. And I see some questions already in the queue, but if you haven't already seen it, you can still submit a question. Just use that Q&A icon and submit your question. So these aren't in any particular order, so bear with me as I go through some of these. Let's see, I'll go back a little ways. And if I don't get to all, I'm sure we can, follow up at the ones we couldn't get to. So, and some of these I realize, maybe came in at different parts of the webinar. So some may have, been inherently answered. We've got Kirsten, Chris, and myself available. We also have some other leaders at Nuvision who are able to participate if there was any questions that would go outside kind of our areas of expertise. So let me just start. The first one, I'm thinking this might be Kirsten. The question is, how do I determine the maximum amount of debt I can take on?
Thank you for that question. I think it kind of depends on your situation. It depends on your income. It depends on what you're looking to use the debt for. One of the things that I mentioned in the presentation is looking at your debt to earned income ratio. So, you want to make sure that whatever, debt you're going into, it's not going to exceed that debt to earned income ratio, which you want to keep at around a 20% is what's average. So yeah, I think it probably just kind of depends on the situation, and why or kind of what exactly this is going to be for. Are you looking at buying a house, or is this, investing in something? So, yeah, that's what I would say regarding that. I don't know if you have anything to add.
No, I think that's good again, and I think as I understand, at least as we look at depending on your income levels, maybe you can manage a little bit more. Can vary, but I think those are good rules of thumb. You mentioned Kirsten. Another one, and I can't remember if this was one of the myths or not. So you'll know though that the question is, will checking my credit report lower my score?
Yeah, so sometimes I know hard inquiries on your credit score can do that. So you just want to be mindful of that. I believe also though, if if you're, for example, you're looking to buy a house and you're kind of shopping around and just seeing, the best loan rate you can go. I believe sometimes they take that into consideration that, you're buying a house, so there are going to be a few things that you're going to be looking at. But yes, sometimes if you are doing multiple hard inquiries on your credit, that can lower your score.
Great. If there's a question also, this might be for, either one of you probably say, how to lower interest rate if you're getting a car loan, I think I'm paraphrasing. And I think one of the things Kirsten talked about is, the advantage of if you can improve your credit score through some of the tips that she provided. I don't know if you have anything else to share. It tends to get you a more competitive interest rate as well. So Kirsten, anything to add there or Chris? Okay, thinking not. Another,
Oh,
I'm
Roger.
sorry, go ahead. Yeah,
Oh, sorry. I was just going to jump in real quick. The key thing is maintaining that good credit score. But what I would also do is, say if a member were to get a loan and it wasn't, say, the optimal rate that they thought they would get, just as a reminder, after a period of time, if their credit increases, the credit score increases, they can come back and we can look at refinancing that loan at a lower rate at a lower time. And in particular, if they've done a loan with somebody else at a high interest rate because of their credit at the time and they've had a good payment, bring it back to Nuvision so we can take a look at it. And, we happily can kind of give you a quote on what the rate might look like now that your credit's improved.
great advice, Chris. Thank you. And Chris, maybe I'll stay with you, although Kirsten, feel free, but this I think is a great question, is what is the difference between secured and unsecured debt?
That is a great question. So when you're talking about secured debt, there's usually collateral. So for example, with a car loan, that is a secured loan that is secured by the car. A home is a secured loan that's secured by the house. And as I talked about with the secured Visa, that is a Visa card. It's credit that's secured by a savings account. Unsecured is your standard credit card. It's secured really only by your signature. And so that would be an example of unsecured debt.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris. Kirsten, I forget, you may have touched upon this, but we got this question. Maybe you can speak to it. We got a question. Is it better to pay off debt or save money? Is there like a priority between the two, or how would you describe that?
Yeah, so both are important, both and. We get to focus on both simultaneously. That's my opinion. I think that, if you're working on reducing the amount of debt that you owe, it's also important to also be building your emergency fund, because you want to make sure that you have that emergency fund so that if something unexpected comes up, an unexpected expense, you're not tempted to have to put it all back on a credit card, and you're able to pull from your emergency fund. So I would say both are important, which is why I explained the strategy of knocking down some of your debt, so that, you're not trying to do everything at once. You're just focusing on one at a time. So hopefully that will still allow you to be able to put a little bit aside to also simultaneously build your emergency fund.
And I forget if it was in your presentation or not, but just for those who may not know, I usually think of like an emergency fund being savings like 3 to 6 months or something around there
Yep.
of your monthly income, roughly, of what your take home at least in a savings account that that's liquid, that you can easily access. Does that sound right, Kirsten, or would you describe it differently?
No, absolutely. That's definitely the goal, the ideal goal, to get to 3 to 6 months. If you feel like, you're way off from that, then I would say just start with your first 1,000. Once you hit your first 1,000, start with 1 month of your income. If you're taking home, $5,000 from your job a month, let's get to 5,000 and just working it up from there. Remember, progress is better than no progress, and progress is always better than perfection. So that's what I would say.
Great, thank you, Kirsten. Another one that I think maybe might have been one of the slides you skipped just due to time, but a member was asking, I think it related to cutting up your credit cards, like don't cut up your credit cards. They were just interested in learning a little bit more about that. I think you may have touched upon it in another slide, but can you just briefly talk about kind of the why you don't want to necessarily cut up your credit cards?
Yeah, so it's okay to so I think what I mentioned is actually closing the account, because when you close the account, that can negatively affect your credit score. So if you're trying to increase your credit score, but let's say you have, a credit card that you don't really use that often, it's okay to cut up the card, keep the account open, because that's credit history that again can be used positively if you're looking to improve your credit score. Or don't cut it up, and just, if you have the discipline to just, again, use it here and there, pay it off, you have that discipline, then use them for that. I think, again, the key that we're stressing is to use them responsibly.
Great advice. And a related question, Kirsten, is are you able to open up or Chris, maybe either one of you, are you able to open up an older account that you've already closed? Can you reopen that, maybe to, you kind of take your advice, oops, I closed it, shouldn't, now I realize I shouldn't have. Is that something you can do?
I believe so. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I was just going to jump in and say it's really dependent upon where that account was. If we're talking about a credit account that you closed, I would just say that most places may require you to apply again. But it depends on the relationship with the institution and such. So that would be my answer to that.
Great, thank you. Chris, I had a couple of questions, maybe it was just a couple product related question. Does Nuvision currently offer any checking accounts that pays interest? I know we offer quite a variety. Do we offer any that pay interest? I know we have other accounts, but what about checking?
Yes, we do. We do have a checking account. I will preview the fact that it is it's a fairly low interest rate, relative to some of the other accounts that we've got. But our Advantage checking account does pay interest. So we do have that option for people. Yeah, and the checking account is a great way to go, with just so you are getting some interest based on the balances you have in there. But I would also always encourage people to take a look at some of our money market accounts, because that is a way to maybe a better way to store some of your excess funds, still keep it liquid and still get a great interest rate.
Great.
But I
Thank you,
would,
Chris.
I
I
would,
thought,
yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. The last thing I was going to say is I would encourage people to, give us a call on the phone, stop by one of the branches, and we can really go through all the different options and figure out, if the interest checking might be the best choice for you.
Great. Thank you, Chris. I'm scanning questions because we may not have time to get to every one of them, which I'll check with the team, see if there's a way we can, even for the ones we don't get to, do a follow-up of some sort. As I mentioned, this is recorded and we'll make this available. I think we put it on YouTube, but we'll get that out. I thought I saw another one, Chris, that you might be able to help with. That was more product oriented. I know one member may be related to seeing a lot of online banks offering high yield, short-term or variable term CDs. So they like to, see something for that, which I know we have some options, but that's something to think about more. Here's one that I saw that I myself don't know our current if we're doing it or it's a referral basis only. And I don't know if Tara was able to make this, Tara leads our mortgage, able to make this. The question is, does Nuvision have a reverse mortgage product today?
Hi, Roger. Yes, I am on the line.
Oh, hi, Tara. Thanks for
Hi.
joining.
Yes, actually the answer is no, we do not offer a reverse mortgage, but we offer many other competitive products out there. So the best way to get a hold of us is through our website and get connected with a mortgage loan officer, and we can help you with that. But to answer the question, it's no.
Great. Thank you, Tara. And let me just do sorry, we've got so many, but I'm trying to just highlight or at least get to different topics. Bear with me one moment. I thought I saw one that was a little different then. And so there was one here about well, I think a couple. I'll start. Here's two, and then I'll wrap it up with maybe one more after this. And then we'll have to wrap. These are great financial solutions for people with steady income. What help can Nuvision provide for someone in hardship or high credit card debt? Can you help members find even a good bankruptcy lawyer? I mean, this is someone. In Arizona, they're happy about the Mesa branch. So, we know everyone needs a helping hand at times. So what about those who are in hardship and high credit card debt? I know on the high credit card debt, just something that Kirsten, shared was kind of like going after the one, and I think you're like one at a time and maybe going after the highest interest rate. But I don't know, Kirsten, or Chris, if you have anything further to offer. I mean, we offer seminars like this at various times. We offer the balance program where someone could help you. What other things might we be able to suggest to members who are kind of in a tough spot, maybe not with steady income? We know the gig economy is out there, and we see that more and more where there's kind of, should we say, peaks and valleys when it comes to some people's income, and that can be difficult to kind of manage the cash flows on that and kind of get them in a tough spot. So anything else we can offer for those that might be in kind of that tough spot and need some help? Kirsten or Chris, in that man.
Yeah, Roger, I can't stress enough for someone in that situation to really reach out to a Balance Financial Fitness Program. They're at balancepro.org. Anytime a member comes into one of our branches or calls us on the call center and they're having issues like this, that's one of the first referrals we're gonna make. They have so many resources to help you, pay down your debt, eliminate credit card debt, budgeting and such. That would always be the first place I would refer somebody to start.
Thank you, Chris. Kirsten, I'll just, if you could, maybe we'll wrap up on this one, just watching time. Because I think it's a good fundamental question. I'm always reminded, of things. Well, I just think this is a great question. What is the difference between a credit score and a credit report? Because they are different.
Yeah, so your credit score is just the overall score of, you know, of all the things that we talk about. So all the things that they use to come up with your score, credit history, credit usage, things like that they come up with your score. And then your credit report is the full report that actually shows the details of your credit history. So showing like what percentage of payments, you know, you've made on time, if you've had any like bankruptcies, for example, or any accounts that you've had that you've closed. So like the report is the full report that shows all those details. And then, you know, the score is just the score where if someone, you know, just, you know, like if you're looking to rent a house, you know, they may mainly just care about your credit score. A lot of times they do want to look at the full history though, because they want to see, you know, maybe some details to get a, you know, to make sure that there's no significant things on that. But yeah, those are the main differences. Hopefully that answered your question.
Great. No, I think that's great. And I know some members asking, we're doing different programs, including with Kirsten's, you know, group, how money works for more, you know, teens, like we mentioned, Costa Mesa High School. And certainly, you know, we're open to doing, you know, more programs and such, because we do think, you know, that especially young people starting out, we're trying to really, as Kirsten gave her own personal story, and I can relate to even some of my own kids. It's just, you know, you get, even if you get educated, it doesn't mean you get educated on personal finance, you know, type stuff, really pragmatic tools such as we're covering, you know, this evening. So thank you, Kirsten. Thank you, Chris. Just great presentations. Thank you to our members who joined us. This will be recorded, or is being recorded. It will be made available to you. And we'll work with the team to see if we can, two other requests, I'll just mention it live, is if we could, you know, publish the full presentation, since we went through some slides pretty quick. And then, you know, if we could do that. And then also if there's any way we could publish kind of a Q&A for the questions we didn't have time to answer. So that's just for the team, since I did see a couple of questions that related to those. So again, we really appreciate you attending, appreciate your membership. We hope it's valuable to you. That's why we're doing these free webinars to provide value for our members, and we hope great information. But Kirsten and Chris did such a great job. And we'd like to have your feedback about how we did, and other, you know, we have these continuing Nuvision Insights webinars that we touch upon different topics. So we'd really appreciate it if you use this QR code and take a brief survey. It only takes, you know, I think it's like 20-30 seconds to complete it. And that would help us know how we did this evening, and also help us plan for future Nuvision Insights webinars. So, and then also, if you have any additional questions that you think of, you know, already, you're thinking of now, you can email them to nuvisioninsights@nuvisioncu, as in CU Credit Union, .org. So nuvisioninsights@nuvisioncu.org. And it just emails your question. We'll try to get back to you on your questions. So again, we look forward to hosting additional sessions in the future. A big thanks to Kirsten and to Chris and our whole team who helped support. Thank you to all the leaders, including, I know Tara helped with a question, who were available for tonight's meeting. Thank you to our members. We appreciate your business. We appreciate you taking time to join us. And if you had friends and family you think will benefit from this, but they weren't available to attend, when we send out the information about the recording, please share it so they can take advantage of this resource as well. So again, thank you for your membership and being part of the Nuvision family. It's an honor to serve you, and I wish you a great evening. Bye.